Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up for you. Stuart Alderoty, the Chief Legal Officer from Ripple, is going to break it down. Utility adoption. Ripple knows David Sachs, the crypto czar. Public-private relationship, you say? Ripple in Congress? How about an update on the lawsuit and the new SEC chair? How about somebody roll that beautiful intro?
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.35 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's off by 3.6%. Right now, Bitcoin 98,000 plus, Ethereum 2,700 plus, XRP number 3 spot $2.50. We're off 5.1 on the 24. We're off 18.3 on the 7-day. But why am I so enthused? Let's get into it. First, let's look at this really quickly here. Ranging between 243 and 270. We're sitting at 249 at the moment. I'm not worried, and I think before this video is over, you're going to feel the same way. In fact, I'm still trying to accumulate as much XRP as I can because I firmly believe we are on the precipice of a no-return moment. People refer to it as a flip the switch, step function change, however you want to call it. I do believe we're close to this, and I think you're going to see evidence of it today, but it's not financial advice. Let's get going here. First of all, shout out to the brothers here, the Tate brothers. Tristan Tate put this out. He says, can somebody explain the XRP hype to me? Why on earth would this go to hundreds per coin? And I say to him, I said, Tristan, whether it's you or your brother, XRP isn't hype. It's going to be the U.S. infrastructure in the new digital economy and so much more. You're welcome on my show to learn more about it. And I'm also the founder of the world's largest XRP conference. You can contact me, and I would be thrilled to have you join us on the channel and at the conference. And I do mean that, very sincere. And I know that these gentlemen are smart, and I know that they'd spend 2 days at that conference and come away as some of the biggest XRP holders on the planet. Empower Oversight sues the SEC for delaying the release of the ethics report on Hinman's crypto regulation conflicts. SEC faces legal pressure as Empower Oversight demands transparency on crypto enforcement and conflicts of interest. They have held this IG report that Empower Oversight has FOIA'd and asked for an extreme amount of time now. This is absurd. And I hope one of the first things that Paul Atkins does when he's confirmed there, and I wouldn't mind if Mark Udea, the interim SEC head, would do this, but I could certainly see how they could wait for the person to be confirmed. But if it is a wait, then I hope that Paul Atkins, when he's confirmed, this is the first order actions to release the IG report. This is it's absurd. The agencies serve us, but when it comes time to tell the truth, we can't seem to get them to do right. Jason Foster doubling down on the notion from Empower Oversight. Unreal that no one in Congress has gotten the SEC to cough up the Inspector General's Hinman Crypto Conflicts Report. We asked, we waited, and now they're suing. And rightfully so. And shout out to Jason Foster. Shout out to Tristan Levitt from Empower Oversight and all the incredible work they do. I'm asking all of you to politely tag anybody in Congress that you know needs to know. I tagged Senator Chuck Grassley. And how about this, man? Wow, this is big. VanEck releases American Crypto Index. The MAGA 10 includes XRP at a weight of 48.91%. Whoa! I love this. What is this? Well, what this is, new launch today, MAGA 10, make indexing great again. We're excited to introduce the MAGA 10, Market Vector American Crypto Leaders Index. Here you have it. Giving investors a new way to watch, track, and build products on the growing U.S. crypto narrative. This is a brilliant move right here. You're going to see a U.S. fund, index fund of the U.S. located crypto projects that will eventually have no cap gains on them. What is MAGA 10? It's a rule-based index tracking the top 10 largest and most liquid U.S. domiciled digital assets, capturing the momentum of protocols that could benefit from upcoming regulations and potential U.S.-focused policies under a future administration. They can smell it coming, ladies and gentlemen. This is a brilliant move by VanEck. This matters because with the new crypto regulations expected in the U.S. and the possibility that a Trump administration could favor U.S. headquartered protocols, investors need a clear framework to track this shift. This is what I'm telling you. You're going to see a basket of U.S. domiciled located crypto assets, and it's going to become its own fund. I mean, you can see them setting it up right now. It will exclude stable coins and meme coins and privacy coins, quarterly reviewed to adapt the market shifts, component weighted cap of 30% for diversification. And right now, XRP sitting at 48.91%. I think they're bullish on it. What do you think? And it's because Trump's administration is doing the opposite of what the Biden administration has done. And they plan to regulate crypto and stable coins and bring the market back onshore with a focus on U.S. dollar-backed digital assets, according to the crypto czar David Sachs. And this is exactly right. And I tell you, this is favorable news because you can monitor the space better when things are onshore. Shout out to Dom from Easy A, who will be at XRP Las Vegas on stage. Write that down. Oh, yes, it's happening. So excited. These guys are so smart. Oh, my gosh. Stablecoin regulation via the Genius Act could 1,000 times blockchain usage. We are still so early. He's absolutely right. Listen to Senator Haggerty in this quick clip.
Kayleigh, I'll add Senator Tim Scott, the chair of the Banking Committee, is on this legislation with us. We're very excited about it. This is the first step, and we're going to do this first before we get to broader market structure. But it's going to enable us to take a very positive step in the direction of ensuring that the United States is a positive environment for cryptocurrency technology. Stablecoins is one of these issues that I think the United States can be a leader on. It's time for us to do so. Look, there's roughly $28 trillion worth of stablecoin transactions taking place right now across the world. We need to be a leader here in America. This legislation allows us to do that. And I'm extraordinarily optimistic that we're taking that lead. It's going to open the door for many other positive things in the industry. And I'm so excited to have my colleagues on both sides of the aisle join me here. This is going to be an important first step to opening up the market here in America.
No question about it. And I tell you, I'm reminded of that weighted average again, that 48.19, is it? Yeah, 0.91, 48.91 weighted average of XRP. You can't help but wonder, does it get an advantage because the XRP ledger also just launched a real USD? Uphold had this to say, think of this for just a moment. Stable coins could be the foundation of a digital world reserve currency. You damn right. They're going to shore up the bond market, baby.
Stable coins really have the potential to ensure American dollar dominance internationally, to increase the usage of the U.S. dollar digitally as the world's reserve currency, and in the process create potentially trillions of dollars of demand for U.S. treasuries, which could lower long-term interest rates.
Absolutely the plan right here, ladies and gentlemen. And again, Ripple Real USD Reserve Report just came out not long ago. Transparency is our friend, right? This is it. This is the stuff that you never see from Tether. Remember, Real USD is on the NYDFS green list. USDC is not. Now, I'm not throwing shade on it. I hold private equity in Circle. All I'm saying is it doesn't have the same level of clarity on the green list that Real USD does. That's just a fact. Stuart Alderoty throws this out because Hester Peirce and the SEC have created a task force, and she shares the webpage there. He goes on to say, throughout the former administration's war on crypto, Commissioner Peirce remained a steady voice for regulatory sanity. Today's memo is another rapid step towards turning the page on the mess we all inherited and suffered through. Well said. In 2020, Commissioner Peirce and I planned to meet for coffee at Ebenezer's in D.C., but the pandemic intervened, and he looks forward to finally having that coffee in 2025. No doubt about it. Well, let me tell you, this is Ripple Top's lawyer right here, Stuart Alderoty, and the whole thing is fire. But I'm going to give you the highlights because that's what we try to do for you here. And again, the whole thing is amazing, and I'm going to skip around a little bit. But let's go here where he talks about the utility and adoption that needs to happen. Take a listen.
War. We've seen the crypto market in sell-off mode since then. But what are the implications for crypto firms? Or is this just more of a de-risking moment and no real blowback for the industry long term?
Well, I think anytime folks get distracted in crypto by short-term market swings, that's a distraction. I think what the industry needs to do is focus on building utility, building real-world use cases, building adoption, and building on the momentum to get those clear rules of the road. Ripple, as I said, we've been around for over 12 years. We've seen crypto winters, crypto springs, crypto summers. We've seen it all. We're not distracted by that. We're focused on building real-world enterprise use cases that can be adopted now in the United States.
No question about that. Now I'm going to skip around because I just think it flows better to grab these things in the order that I've laid them out here. Now listen to what he says here about Ripple in Congress.
So one other big area where members of the industry have fought for progress is in crypto regulation from Capitol Hill. I know that you said that, David Sachs, part of his job remit is to come up with recommendations for lawmakers, but have you or the Ripple team talked with members of Congress on that point? Are you anticipating any sort of bills to be tabled in the next few months?
So Ripple has been engaging with Congress for all throughout the last administration, all throughout the prior administration. We are very policy focused. And yes, have we continued those conversations with the new Congress? Yes. This is the most crypto-friendly Congress we will ever see. And we are in contact and with discussions. Again, this is nothing new. This is a continuation of discussions we've always had as to standing up, again, real world framework for the use adoption of crypto in the US that protects consumers, protects the integrity of the market, and keeps bad actors out. We're not going to do it alone. I think the industry needs to come together and cooperate with Congress. Ultimately, Congress owns the policy. The industry doesn't own the policy. But I think we can get there. And I do think that we are going to see some really good legislative process this year, maybe even a statute signed this year, both in terms of what we call a market structure bill, something that covers all aspects of how a crypto market would need to be regulated in the US, which would include everything from stablecoins to potentially decentralized finance. So there's a lot to do, but we have a very motivated Congress to get it done.
No question about it. Now let me come back and bring you back here. Let me get back here where you're going to want this, especially after hearing everything laid out the way we just did. Now, you're going to hear the understanding that Brad Garlinghouse knows David Sachs personally, and so does Ripple. Take a listen.
So you mentioned David Sachs a moment ago. He's working closely with the White House as its new crypto and AI czar. He says he plans to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. Have you or Ripple been involved in that initiative? Have you spoken with Sachs or other members of this new council about what we might expect to see in the months ahead?
Yeah, so we know David Sachs. We have been in communication with David Sachs. He, I think, is thinking about this thing the right way, and he is inclusive. He's looking for the industry to partner, a private-public partnership, to partner with the U.S. and with the administration and with the regulators. That
makes a lot of sense. I got to jump in. A public-private relationship This is why I believe that Brad Garlinghouse will ultimately be on one of the seats of the Crypto Council. I think it just makes sense.
Decide what do we need to do to really make this happen. So yes, we have been in contact with David Sachs. I imagine others have been in contact with David Sachs. We know him. We think he's the right person for this job.
No question about it. I tell you, man, Stuart really has been on fire, man, since this case took off, and just bringing a real voice of reason and clarity. That's what I appreciate about him most. Now, let's listen here to understand where he's at and his understanding of the case, where it is right now, and what he would expect with the new acting SEC chair, Paul Atkins. This is remarkable.
Motivated Congress to get it done.
And what about Ripple's lawsuit with the SEC? Obviously, we've seen a sweeping change in policy at that regulator in just the last few weeks. And I'm wondering whether that's impacting litigation brought under the former SEC chair, Gary Gensler. So what's the latest on your case?
So as you know, Mackenzie, Ripple was sued way back in 2020. No allegations of fraud, no allegations of market manipulation, no allegations of consumer harm. In fact, the SEC couldn't even identify a single victim that suffered any loss. It was this lawsuit, which was basically you failed to come in and register with the SEC when the SEC knew that there was no mechanism for a crypto company to ever register with the SEC. This was part of the war on crypto. This was part of an effort to destroy the crypto industry through regulation by enforcement. We defended that case over 4 years. We spent $150 million in defense costs. We won. The SEC, under the prior administration, filed an appeal. And on January 15th, 5 days before the inauguration, they actually filed their opening brief in that appeal. I remain cautiously optimistic that the new administration under Paul Atkins, which hopefully I anticipate will be confirmed as the new SEC chair, will do away with these lawsuits that have, again, these non-fraud lawsuits, these victimless crime lawsuits. I think it's a waste of taxpayers' money. It's a waste of regulatory resources to pursue these lawsuits. So hopefully it'll be voluntarily dismissed. But until that time, we'll continue to defend. We'll file our responsive brief in the Second Circuit. But we're thinking about this really as background noise right now. We're leaning into the U.S., and we're thrilled to partner with this administration to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world.
Now, I got to be honest. That sounds extremely bullish to Bradley, okay? Shout out to Stuart for those comments. And just to echo what went on here from the crypto talk yesterday, by the way, if you haven't seen the first video from this morning, we cover all the highlights from the crypto talk from the crypto czar David Sachs and all the surrounding members who were there. Senator Tim Scott, Representative French Hill, John Boozman, and the other gentleman was there. His name is escaping me right at this moment. GT. So nevertheless, all of these people were at the same place because it was Senator Tim Scott's idea, they said, to bring all of the necessary committees and bodies together, agencies alike, so they could move this legislation collectively as an entire body. Normally in Congress, you're like, oh, well, we'll send it to the Ag Committee, and then we'll send it to the Financial Services Committee, and then once it goes here, it goes to that committee, and then so on and so on and so on. Well, this was a way to streamline this because Senator Tim Scott came to the podium during the questions and said he is going to move aggressively and is looking to get legislation through the Senate in the first 100 days. Come on in. Brad Garlinghouse says, any criticism of today's press conference is absolutely missing the forest for the trees. Having the chair of Senate Banking, the chair of House Financial Services, the chair of Senate Ag Committee, and the chair of House Ag join the crypto czar to commit to passing legislation for crypto clarity is 100% a big deal and something we haven't seen before. This is exactly what I grabbed out of this too. They're doing this because they're that serious in getting the legislation done. And you don't want to send it over to the Ag Committee and then it goes to the Finance Committee and it's like, oh, well, we missed 4 things and now it's got to go back to the Ag Committee. No. This to me shows the real intent in Congress to get this legislation done. It is going to be a remarkable year from where I'm sitting. Now, the only thing that would make it more remarkable than that is to see the price move in a direction that we all want to see it move. Greg Crypto lays it down here, and he says there's two scenarios, and I think we've covered this before, but I love this because it goes off the market cap. And I love when he does these things, when he breaks down market cap, because it's such a macro way to look at the market. It calms me, right? Because the day-to-day can get anyone stressed. But I ask myself, with the bullish things we see with this U.S. government now embracing crypto, looking to get legislation signed and passed in the Senate in the first 100 days, what is the size of the market cap of cryptocurrency at the end of this year? Is it 5 trillion, 8 trillion, 10 trillion, more? And if it's going to be that size, and I know I ask this question all the time, but you tell me, if it's $10 trillion market cap, how much of that is XRP market cap capture? How much is captured in the XRP market cap? That is the question. Because if we get 1 trillion, you're looking at a $20 XRP price. 1.5, I think it is. And you're talking about a $30 XRP. But there could be factors that change that also from inflows. So there are many things in front of us. Look, we still don't have the ETFs approved. Think of that for a moment. The case voluntarily possibly dismissed by Paul Atkins. Just think about these things. What does the market look like then? And then it gets very easy for me to sit back and go, wow. Well, if we're at a $10 trillion market cap, I could easily see XRP having a $1 trillion, especially if legislation's passed and all these institutions are coming in. Hell, it might even be more than that. That's what's fun for me. All right, that's going to do it for me. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I think Brad Garlinghouse was right with his comment, however. Anyone criticizing yesterday's press conference, I think a lot of people on crypto Twitter were like, they didn't say XRP. They didn't say Bitcoin was going to be in it, right? I think the other big thing to take away from this too, and I said this in my first video this morning, they announced the executive order signed by President Trump for a sovereign wealth fund. So that would fall under Howard Lutnick in the Department of Commerce. And he holds hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. I would anticipate that that's a no-brainer. Bitcoin's going in the sovereign wealth fund if he's in charge of it. And he is. The evaluation to find out whether Bitcoin and other assets go in a strategic reserve digital asset stockpile is going to be a different level of scrutiny, I believe. And I do believe XRP ends up in that. And it may be questionable if Bitcoin does, because China is one of the largest holders of Bitcoin. Why would you ever put that reserve in this strategic reserve and pump up Bitcoin's bags? Now, sovereign wealth fund could be looked at different, but we'll see. And I'm not opposed to having multiple assets in both funds or baskets. So that's where I stand on that. Not financial advice from me. This is getting incredible. I'll catch all of you on the next one.